Looks like we've got Mozart on the menu, and I'm going to do things backwards this time and play the melody first, and then I want to talk about a couple of things such as the count and the way you know that a section is at an end and you're starting a new section. This is a question mailed in by a reader. I'll flash the email address for questions as a caption in a moment. And here we go with the performance of La Si Darem la Mano from Don Giovanni. 1, 2. First of all, you can see the key signature has 3 sharps. The final sharp is a G sharp, which leads to the note A, 1/2 step higher. That's your clue to the fact that you're now in the key of A, plus the prominence of the note A at the beginning and at the end. And if you could see the full score, of course, you'd see the chords belong to the key of A and not the key of the relative minor, F sharp minor. So the count is 1, 2. This is divided. The 2 count is divided into eighth notes, so that's 2 and 1. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 1 silent. And the countdown here is 1 and a 2 and a 1. Now this time I'll play it and count it out. 1, 2. 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and a 2 and 1, 2. 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2. And 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2. Now, what I'm about to say about La Si Darem la Mano applies to pop songs just as well. How do I know when I've come to the end of a section? Sometimes it's hard to tell because ideas overlap, but usually, and especially in this piece, it's very easy to tell where one idea ends and another one begins. There are numerous clues. First of all, the rhythm of the first section and the rhythm of the second section are very much alike. Different notes, but very similar rhythms. So when you begin to hear a repetition of a rhythmic idea, that's often a sign that you've finished a section and now you're beginning a new section. Also, this long note here is like a comma that ends the first idea. And here it's even more pronounced because you have a rest. So this ends the second section. The third section is like the first section. Here's the first section and here's the third section, but you got this little note at the end. This note belongs really to the next section. It leans heavily on the first beat of the next section. And since this is a repetition up to the B of this idea, that defines it as a section, and because this note and the notes that follow represent a final cadence, a conclusion, when you come to this note, which is the tonic, then that defines the fourth section. Now we've mentioned how rhythm and long notes can help you identify the end of sections. The rhythm, because when you have a repeated rhythmic idea here and in 3 places, and you also have a long note at the end of each section, including a rest here. Long note, long note, long note, rest, and finally long note. Now the notes themselves are also important. This note is B, which is the second note in the scale. If you just hit B all by itself, it seems to imply that you're postponing a visit to the tonic. You want to fall backward to the first note in the scale, which is called the tonic. So you're in suspense. It implies a suspenseful mood. And then this note right here is the fifth note of the scale. And the fifth note of the scale is significant melodically and harmonically. Here I'll play the scale from the tonic up to the fifth. This is also the fifth. This is also the fifth. And feel how it, well, I'll just play the fifth and then the tonic. Or the fifth and the tonic. Or the fifth and the tonic. So it's loaded with the suggestion of movement. It's not an agitated tone, it's a stable tone, but it's full of energy. That energy is paid off and concluded when it leaps to the tonic. Now that leap to the tonic is postponed until the last section right here, where it's divided up into scale steps till we get down to the same note and then back up to the tonic here. Now this idea is the same as this idea. You have a leap upward, and here you have a leap downward. This leap upward comes at the end of the first section. This leap downward comes at the end of the second section, and the placement of the leap makes it into a melodic rhyme, just as you would put rhyming words at the end of lines of verse. These two leaps are not here by accident. They're here because they relate to each other. I would call them comical, playful and comical. And here we have the anticipated leap from the fifth up to the tonic, fifth tonic, but it's smoothed out by scale steps, which gives it a rather suave sound. I have to think that Mozart was thinking of the character of Don Giovanni, who in this song is trying to seduce a girl, and he says, "Let's go walking hand in hand." That's the meaning of the title of the song. So I'll play it again, and this time try to listen for the final notes in each section.